escape. And who originally taught Samus those moves? The animals. If you go to the right part of the game, the animals will show Samus how to do a Shine Spark move. Now that would just be cruel to deny them of getting free from planet Zebes, and to have those animals just be like, alright, we taught Samus something, but Samus ain't gonna save us. That's not right! Alright, looks like we're ready here. It is Super Metroid with ARealCutie. Cutie, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, yourself?
Good, good. I know you really are in favor, as far as I know, for kill the animals, but I really like to save them, so let's see what happens here at the end of this run.
I'm in favor for whichever raises the most, but I am biased.
Real quick here, we have $38.32 from Vango that says always save. Thank you very much for your donation. Take it away,
Okay,
Cutie.
I'm ready to go. So this is Super Metroid. Should I give a countdown here for you, Bash? Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is Super Metroid, so I'm going to start off here. I mean, most people have seen this game, but I'm going to still try to explain it as best I can. So, there's usually an intro cutscene that plays when you start the game, but many, many years ago, at least, 15, 16, long before most of us were speedrunning, someone decided, you know what, the game auto-saves after the intro cutscene, let's just start after the intro cutscene. And it's been that way ever since, which is fine by me, because I don't want to watch a 5-minute cutscene every time I reset in this game. So this game has a lot of cool movement tech and stuff. You see when Samus is spin jumping, her hitbox is smaller, but you can unspin on purpose to like grab ledges and stuff. And by doing that, you can like snap to ledges and traverse the map more quickly. So here we're going to take damage from Ridley on purpose. And once we get down to 29 or lower, Ridley's going to fly off. So it's either do that or just like fight Ridley normally and shoot him 100 times, and that takes forever. So this is Series Escape. It's a pretty standard section. These doors, they'll open on their own, but they won't open fast enough to run through them, so you got to stop before them all. And what else? The thing I'm also doing is arm pumping. So with this arm pumping here, basically, every time Samus's running animation changes, she's advanced a pixel. This works by either aiming up, going back to neutral, or aiming down, or if you are in a running animation and you decide to shoot your beam, Samus will start running with her arm cannon out, and that will also advance your pixel. Yeah, so this game, for any percent, it used to go by a different route, like with a more intended route, developer-intended route, if you will, of Kraid first, and then Phantoon, Dragon, and Ridley. But about 6 years ago, though still colloquially referred to as a new route, was discovered to be faster for humans here. It's been known for like a tool-assisted run to be significantly faster, but it was thought to be way too hard for humans to make it faster. But so that's the route I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go to Phantoon first, and I'm going to fight Ridley second. So right off here, we're going to get off the ship, and we're going to not run into this door, and we're going to fall down the parlor. So this is going to be, earlier I showed in the menu that I'm using the moonwalk feature. So there's a trick in this game to uncap your fall speed with the moonwalk. So if you're moonwalking off of a platform, and you're holding an angle button and try to jump, what happens is Samus will be like snapped down and her fall speed becomes uncapped, and I can use this to just fall all the way to the bottom here. So now we're going to go down to Retro Brinstar. Whoops.
I like that name.
Yep, because it's just like the Retro game where you start off right in Metroid 1. And we're going to collect our Morph Ball and some missiles, and from here it's going to let us go back up and fight Bomb Trees to get bombs, and that's kind of where the run, everything starts this way. There's no getting around it. You kind of need the Morph Ball to get places.
Do we have time for a couple quick donations?
Absolutely.
All right, we have $5 from Schism that says hashtag free the nips, $20 from Ovuk Jam that says I actually enjoyed Metroid Fusion, so it better actually happen. Hashtag free the nips, save the animals. Remember, saving the animals is canon, folks. And again, real quick update, kill 1,976, save 1,616. We got a long way to go to save those animals, but I believe we can do it. Back to you.
Okay, so now we're going to come back up back into Criteria, and this section of rooms is pretty much just a gauntlet of incredibly technical and very demanding rooms coming up. They're some of the hardest rooms in the game, and they're just right at the beginning here. The pit room is not usually too bad, but there's a strat coming up here that's pretty tricky. Oh, I ended up missing it. You want to get that damage boost is actually pretty precise to get across. That room is pretty challenging. Then here comes up the climb. There are two main ways people get up this. A lot of players opt to just wall jump up the right side here like this, and some players opt to just, climb the center platforms with ledge grabs. They're pretty much equal. It depends on which one you can execute better. And this one is lovingly referred to as the parlor. A lot of really tight movement, and there's a lot of ways to lose frames in this room just by not being optimal with your spin jumping and such. So it's just a gauntlet of incredibly hard rooms right at the beginning of the game. So now here comes Bomb Teresa. So Bomb Teresa here, what we want to do is we want to get Bomb Teresa to jump back so we can lay some orbs for us so that we can get them for missiles. And if we are on this, there's a specific pixel right here where if we stand on it, Bomb Teresa will jump back immediately as soon as he spawns. And we're in Morph Ball here to dodge Bomb Teresa, otherwise we'll be taking damage, which is not good. Well, whoops, I guess I missed the pixel. Okay. And that's why it's important to not take damage from Bomb Teresa, because then there's the chance for those orbs to be giving you health drops, which really cuts down my damage per second because I can't as reliably get missiles. So coming up is another thing pretty notorious here called Alcatraz Escape, where instead of going around the intended way with our bombs, now we can just wall jump out and morph. It saves a good chunk of time. And coming up here, I'm going to be killing these pirates in the room after this room here, which is called Terminator, because I'll be back later on my way to G4. So I'm going to be killing these pirates. I didn't get a missile there, which is a little unfortunate. So when you're doing New Route or Phantoon first, you want to kill these pirates, and you also need to get one missile from them because you're going to need a missile door coming up, because running through those pirates is slightly faster overall, but it's damage that you don't want to take because we're going to be fighting Phantoon with with no suits and one energy tank. So my max energy right now is 199, and Phantoon deals 40 damage per hit when you're not wearing a suit. This is also the first big sequence break coming up in the run as well. It's a mock ball. So if you just kind of land soft morph and do a quarter circle with momentum, what happens is your run speed gets conserved into your morph ball, and you can use that to just get under these gates really quickly. Normally you need speed booster, and in this way we can skip Spore Spawn, the boss that you're supposed to fight, to get super missiles, and it really just like streamlines the run. Because now you can just, completely run through everything else and not have to fight an incredibly long and actually, honestly, one of the harder bosses to do quickly. And there's another use of Mock Ball. There are uses to get under gates. There are just uses for if you have to morph coming up in a room, it's really worthwhile to just Mock Ball into it. And the other thing that's nice about the Morph Ball too is when you unmorph, your fall speed gets reset, so you can use it to like skip platforms and stuff like that. So we're going to be picking up these charge missiles here, or Danich missiles. Shoutouts to Danich, Japanese version of this game. They're not necessarily needed, but they're very good because I'm going to need a lot of ammo for Phantoon, and obviously Charge Beam. Charge Beam is really important because bosses don't take damage without it unless you use ammo, and we're not going to be picking up enough ammo to kill them all without the Charge Beam. So this is Green Hill Zone here. It seems a little obvious. And this one as well, colloquially is referred to as Noob Bridge, because it's where a lot of players find out that they need the run button, or that the run button exists. So now we're going to go up Red Tower here. This is different from old route where you go down Red Tower to Kraid. And here we're going to do what's called a hero shot, where we shoot upwards and then we follow it to keep it on screen so we can hit that block out. It's named after a tool-assisted runner named Hero of the Day. And then as well, we're going to be coming down here to pick up alpha power bombs, or the first power bombs in the game. So So these power bombs are going to be the only power bomb pack we pick up. And then we have to climb back up the Red Brinstar elevator room so we can go over to Phantoon in the wrecked ship.
We have a time for a couple more donations.
Yep, absolutely.
Mr. Shasta donates $5.68 saying, why do they call it an oven when you oven the cold food of out hot eat the food? Free the nips, save the animals. My gosh, I can't believe I said that correctly. I've been having issues saying that because Oz says that like all the time. Jeff and D3D donates $5 saying, good luck on the run, QWERTY. Heckin' miss you, bud. Hope we get to hang out again soon. Free the nips, save the animals.
Okay, so coming up is a room lovingly referred to as the moat. And the idea is there's a few ways to get across it. Excuse me. One of them is a continuous wall jump, where if you jump on the last frame possible there, you get 2 frames to wall jump off this pedestal and conserve your speed here. It's a little tricky out of the missile, and I believe I actually didn't set it up properly, so I only got 1 frame for it. There's a backup you can do, though, where you just bomb jump across. The bomb jump is a little bit more involved than it looks, but it's not too bad with some practice. It's a couple hours of practice, but it's not too bad. Now, we're on our way to the wrecked ship to get across. Without grapple beam, you can kind of just jump across these, but it's a lot easier to do it when you don't have high jump boots, because you're not jumping as high. So from here, we're going to just make our way down. We're in the wrecked ship, and we're going to try and fight Phantoon. You see here I have 137 energy, and that's because I saved 60 health by killing those pirates earlier. And if you recall, Phantoon deals 40 damage per hit. So I have 3 hits of leeway here until I have 4 hits of leeway, but 3 hits until things start to get scary. You can farm health in the fight and stuff, so it's not too bad. This is pretty safe. Generally, in like an actual like run, I'd be playing things a little bit more aggressive and coming in with 117-ish, which is pretty scary if you're not confident in it. So Phantoon is going to open his eye here, and the idea is you can shoot the flames that he puts out like right away so that they all break at once. And I just got fast. Okay. So Phantoon can give you either fast, slow, or mid, and I got fast. That's about a 1 in 16, which is pretty good. It's pretty rare. And so what happens with Phantoon is basically, I expected to have more time to talk about this. So there's 2 like phases of Phantoon, in a sense, after he opens his eye. So before Phantoon starts moving after he opens his eye, you can fire 2 missiles and he won't disappear. But if you fire a 3rd missile before Phantoon starts moving, then he will disappear. This same thing applies for after Phantoon starts moving. You can fire 2, but if you fire a 3rd, he will stop, right? So, or he will disappear, excuse me. So what we do is we fire 2 and then 2, and then if you're running towards Phantoon, because if you're firing missiles or hitting him at a rate faster than you can like normally fire missiles, he gets like stun locked in place. So the idea is you run at him to stun lock him in place, which is it's a little trickier than it sounds, because the missiles, you have to time them pretty well. And here's the attic. You have to kill all these enemies to get out of this room. And we're going to make our way to the gravity suit. And the wrecked ship in general, everything just hits like a truck because you don't have Varia suit. So you're taking twice as much damage as you normally would in a casual playthrough, on top of only having 1 energy tank. So I'm going to be going through bowling here to get to the bowling chorizo, as we call him. And these spikes here are going to deal 60 damage to me, and you have to take at least 2 hits. If you make a mistake, you'll end up having to take 3, and you can't take more than 3, otherwise you just die, even if you're at max health. And a lot of times in runs, you won't come in that healthy, so you basically can't make a mistake in that room. And we have some time for donations if you have any.
All right, sounds good. We have $5 from Bash Prime who says, do the alpha power bombs turn into dark alpha power bombs after a short time? Do you get the energy transfer module afterwards? Free the nips, save the animals.
I'll come back to Echo someday, Bash.
Real quick save kill update. Say kill right now is at 1,976. Save is catching up a little bit. 1,632. We can still make this happen to save the animals. We're going to need to go on that $5 train a little bit more though, folks.
So this is, I find it one of the harder to execute sections of the run, but it's definitely one of the safest sections of the run. Because what's going to happen is we're going to make our way down to Lower Norfair to fight Ridley, but we're pretty under-equipped to do so, so we're gonna, take some detours here at Upper Norfair to just like basically clean up and get some equipment that's gonna let us, deal with Ridley quickly. We technically have all the equipment we need to really fight him right now. We could get all the way there and fight him with what we have, but it would be quite a slow fight, and it would take quite a while to get there. So we're gonna be making our way down, picking up some extra firepower and some movement items here in Upper Norfair. And this section I find is actually incredibly hard to just, do because so many of the rooms are very intricate. There's a lot of tight movement in them and very easy things to mess up and lose a lot of time. Like these moonfalls here, they don't actually save that much. The big ones in the climb, that one saves about 4 seconds. But these ones here save, 20, 25 frames each. And then they're really easy to just make mistakes like that. And Upper Norfair is just full of really interesting platforming and stuff that's a bit of a challenge to get through quickly here. And this is another thing about this game. So as you see, I jumped through that door there. Every time you go through a door in this game, it has to center on the screen before it transitions you. And this centering on the screen actually takes a bit of time, unless the door is already centered. So it's colloquially referred to as fixing a door, quote unquote. And the idea behind it is if we manipulate our camera, then we can manipulate our camera faster than the door will scroll. So in a lot of instances, you can fix the door to save 20, 30 frames with some, just by jumping through them maybe, or landing, aiming down are popular ways in which you can fix doors. And this kind of stuff adds up over time for sure. It's not like incredibly important, but it's definitely in the details where this game matters, because there's just so much depth to it that you really have to pay attention to certain things like that. So here's a second E-Tank. Finally, we have more than 199 energy. And then we're going to pick up the high jump boots. Definitely not a required item, but very helpful to going fast, because you can jump a lot higher. And from here, we're also going to pick up the Ice Beam as well, just for more firepower for Ridley. Technically, like, if we weren't going to fight Ridley, it'd be faster to pick up Ice Beam here on the way out of Norfair. But, we want the firepower for Ridley. And then I'm also going to be trying to farm as many Sovas as I can along the way for super missiles. My count's pretty good right now, but super missiles are going to be incredibly important because they deal double damage to Ridley, and you're going to want them. As well as there's another mock ball to get under some gates. Normally you need speed booster for this. And we're going to come up in here and pick up Ice Beam. I suppose I should mention damage boosting as well. I've completely forgot. So in this game, if you're holding the jump button and you are knocked back from damage, what ends up happening is if you're holding the jump button while you take damage, and then you press the D-pad the opposite direction that Samus is facing, you'll get a damage boost. It's an intended mechanic. It has its own animation and everything. And then here's a nice ice escape mock ball. Instead of having to go through the top and there's a tutorial on how to use the ice beam, if you just mock ball, you can get under that gate there and save a whole trip around. But damage boosting, back to damage boosting, has a lot of intricacies to it. For instance, if you're holding the D-pad when you take damage, the knockback from the damage will knock you downwards. So then your D-boost will have a different trajectory, and then depending on what frame that you decide to press the D-pad in the opposite direction Samus is facing, the trajectory of your D-boost will also change. So there's a lot of intricacies in trying to get proper D-boosts and stuff to where you're D-boosting to where you want to go, instead of too high or too low. So that's a really tight trick right there, right side Bubble Mountain. So there's a farming station there, and there's another door fix. The farming station, it's actually faster to farm once beforehand just because you're making the buds spawn as you're coming up. And then you fix the door here. You can grab the speed booster, which is very good for going fast because it's speed. And you get a nice little tutorial where if you wait too long, you just, are in the lava. And then here I'm going to farm up for supers. I'm going to play it a little safe here, just because I want to make sure I have a lot of supers. And if I have... Yeah, that's good. Whoops. And if I have more supers, there's a better chance I'm going to have more health for Ridley as well, which is something that's very nice to have. I'm also going to play something safe here. Normally I would damage boost in some of these rooms here, but I'm going to elect to avoid them, obviously, because I'm about to go down to Lower Norfair without very much health. As well as pick up this missile here. Generally I skip this in attempts and such, but minimum ammo is pretty scary in this game, and it's very easily to just soft lock because you don't have enough ammo, so it's definitely worthwhile to pick up some extra ammo. And what's nice is I also skip taking 15 damage from the spikes down below, because I can just jump over in one jump instead of having to jump over the missile pack. So now I'm going to head down to Lower Norfair here from this way. This is the opposite way. Generally, in the casual playthrough, you take these rooms up to get up to Bald Mountain and Speed Booster, but I'm going to take them the opposite way here to get down to Lower Norfair. And then I'm going to do a trick called Lava Spark, which really shows off a lot of the mechanics in this game being used to their potential in conjunction to get to Lower Norfair. So I'm going to do what's called a short charge to get Speed Booster echoes. To get a Shine Spark, I'm going to damage boost. And it was meant to activate my spark to get up there, but I didn't do it quickly enough, so I'm going to do a backup gravity jump here. And it works just fine. I still have plenty of health. So if you take off the gravity suit when you're in water or lava after jumping, you maintain your momentum, but you have the underwater physics now, so you jump incredibly high. And now this is Lower Norfair. I'm here incredibly early without very much equipment, so things hit like a truck and I don't deal very much damage. So I'm going to do what's called fast pillars here, where I do a short charge to get a Shine Spark and just Shine Spark through them. Now I'm going to get through worst room in the game by using the invulnerability that these pirates get from my power bombs. I can just go through them without taking damage because my power bomb is damaging them. So they have iframes and I can't get hit by them. It's basically the inverse of using your iframes to get through someone. You use the enemy's iframes to get through them. I'm going to do another short charge here, because after you Shine Spark, echoes come out of Samus here, and they're going to come out, since I Shine Spark horizontally, they're going to come out vertically, and they're going to kill those guys. This gets me 2 drops, gets them out of my way, and it also reduces a ton of lag when I lay this power bomb. The Shine Spark echoes deal 96 damage per frame, and those guys only have 1800 health. So since these guys are enemies, these platforms below me, I can actually morph through them. It's what's referred to as a kego. If you morph as you land on them, you'll just go right through them. This happens with enemies, and since those guys are classified as enemies, it works on them. And I'm going to use the Shine Spark echoes I mentioned earlier to kill these pirates here, while also refilling my supers and health, which is really nice. I'm sitting very pretty, and I'm going to go fight Ridley. Power bomb, that's 2%. But I also didn't get a power bomb somewhere, so that's actually really good. So here's Ridley. I'm going to use a technique called X Factors. And I'm going to take some damage on purpose here to set up a second X Factor. I'm going to get a third. So I just took 40 damage on purpose. Those each deal super missile damage. So 300, so that's 1,200 for each of them. And then Ridley has 18,000 health, and each of my charge shots deals 300 damage, and each super missile deals 600. So I'm going to be making sure that I'm kind of counting here. I play it safe, roll under. So the idea is you want to use your ammo in combination. Okay, so what I did there to activate Ridley dying is if Ridley's in a pogo state and he grabs you, he's just gonna, take you up. But if he's not in a pogo state and he's dead, grabbing him is what is going to trigger his death animation. So what I did is I jumped up to cancel his pogo, and then I got grabbed by him immediately. I'm going to pick up this energy tank here. Generally I wouldn't, but I'm not racing anyone. It's for a marathon. This is going to make Lower Norfair Escape incredibly comfortable here, because this segment is pretty tight and nerve-wracking, just because I'm going to have to dodge some key hunters coming up, and they deal 50 damage, and I have like no way of killing them reasonably quickly. At all. It would take like minutes to kill them, just because I'm so under-equipped. They have 1,800 health, mind you. And since I took off Einstein's Phaser, my charge shot only deals 150 damage. Ah. So obviously it, is going to take a long time and a lot of ammo to kill them, and missiles don't even work on them. So really the only way around them is to dodge them. The thing about key hunters though is they're like entirely manipulable, but it's like, someone described it as like chaos theory. Like, even little changes in your movement can like drastically alter how they're going to move. So the idea is you want to have strategies that are pretty replicable for humans throughout the entire process, just because little things can drastically change where they're going to be. And I'm really comfortable here, so I'm probably really not even going to care about the Three Musketeers coming up. I'm just going to go through them very quickly. Okay. That's fine. I messed up the movement, and when you mess up the movement in that room, you basically have no clue where those guys are going to be, so it's kind of tricky to dodge them all. Whoops. Now we're going to come back out here at Bubble Mountain and make our way to Kraid. This is a nice little downtime of the run as well. You got any donations?
Yes, we do. We have $20 from Anonymous, who says nipples with a ton of question marks and exclamation points after it. So, real quick update on that as well. The Super Mario Odyssey nipple percent run is currently $695 out of 1,250, so we're making some great progress towards that. And in terms of saves kill, save is currently at $1,652, while kill is still at $1,976. That is a very powerful total. I believe we can beat that. Remember, free the nips, save the animals, and remember, you can put it towards the nipple percent run as well as either save or kill. So remember, if you would like to see those incentives as well as a closer race between save kill, please get those donations in.
Perfect. So we're coming up on Kraid here. There's a pretty famous, I suppose, quick kill for Kraid. You can kill him before he stands up, which is, pretty interesting and fun, but it's pretty automatic for most top runners at this point. It really doesn't even cross my mind to miss it if I'm on pace. It's just kind of a thing. Something new that was found, though, by a tasser named Snick is his, nails that he shoots at you are actually, there's one, under the stage here, before he comes up, and if you can get it and kill it, then you can actually reduce some lag in this fight as he comes up. So basically, you want to hit him with a super missile and a specific like pose in his mouth opening animation, and it freezes him in place. In which case, you can just pump him full of super missiles, and he's dead before he can even stand. So the reason we're picking up the Varia suit here is the Varia suit. As you saw previously, I suppose, when I was in Norfair, the gravity suit actually does give you heat resistance if you don't have the Varia suit, just because, you know, it gives you everything the Varia suit had for the most part. The only thing is Mother Brain's undodgeable rainbow beam checks for Varia and not gravity. So if you don't have Varia, it deals 600 damage, regardless of if you have gravity or not. So instead of getting, you know, 3 extra energy tanks, we're just going to pick up Varia right there. And we're going to make our way to Dragon here, but first we have to fight a mini-boss called Botswoon. And Meridia here is honestly a pretty tricky section of the run, just mostly because you've gotten through Norfair. Upper Norfair is incredibly hard, and then Lower Norfair is just incredibly stressful. It went nice and easy for me there, but that's because I, you know, did some safe strats to make sure I had some really good health coming in. But if you're, you know, not playing it safe, Lower Norfair can be incredibly stressful. It's on a knife's edge the entire time, and there's no real break until you get to Kraid. And then you have to do this section, which is just a gauntlet of tricks and hard boss fights. So coming up, I'm actually going to try and do a cool Botswoon strat that I came up with here that uses 2 X factors instead of 1. I got the one pattern where I don't have a setup for 2 X factors. That pattern's really ridiculous to try and get a second X factor in. That's the one pattern where I don't have a consistent way to do it, unfortunately. You just kind of got to eat the time loss. Not the time loss, but eat the extra super missiles to use. I'm going to pick up this E-Tank here for a heal. And we're going to head over to Dragon. So coming up is the Coliseum, and we're going to do a trick called the Full Halfie. So originally it was known that you could get your spark up here and spark across half the room, so it was called the halfie. And the full half, and then it was kind of realized, hey, you know, you can actually get across the whole room if you're pretty quick. It was thought to be tool assisted only for a long time, without using a gravity jump, which is really slow because you have to pause the game. But you know, people pretty much just bust it out now pretty easily, like it's nothing. So it's called the full halfie because you do the halfie, but it actually goes across the whole room. So coming up is Dragon. Dragon actually takes damage from Shine Sparks. She actually takes half damage from Shine Sparks even. So I'm pretty sure it's intended, and I missed. Okay. So the idea is you want to Shine Spark Dragon right across the neck, because that's where most of the hitboxes of Dragon kind of overlap. Okay, I got the backup. So what I just did there is called a spike suit. It's you have 2. So basically, if you unmorph on the frame, you take damage from a spike, or in this case, a spark, which also has the same knockback properties as a spike. What happens is, if you unmorph on either the frame you take damage or the frame before you take damage, and then you activate a Shine Spark exactly 10 frames after you take damage, what happens is Samus gets what's called a flash suit, where she has the properties of having a Shine Spark stored, but like, you know, she doesn't have blue suit, and she just keeps it until you try to activate a Shine Spark. So I can use that to get across the back half of the room, or I can get back across the room there. If you unmorph the frame before you take damage, there's actually one frame where you can Shine Spark early, and you just like miss it, and it looks like you got it. And it's the bad frame, so to speak. So that's essentially for the most part, to do it as safe as possible, a double frame perfect trick for the backup there. And then we're just going to be making our way to G4, Golden 4, because to get to the last area of the game, Turian, there's a room with some statues here that gonna have to wait in for about 50 seconds to get to the last area of the game. I'm gonna farm up some health here, though. If they would be so kind as to oblige me with health instead of supers. Okay. So, and then the last area of the game is Turian. Honestly, one of the hardest parts of the game, mechanically, in my opinion. There's just so much that can go wrong so quickly. The Metroid rooms aren't easy. Hello.
Do we have time for a
drops.
quick donation right before then?
Oh, absolutely. Like, we're gonna have all of G4. There's like 50 seconds, but you can go now as well. There's not too much going on.
All right, we have $50 from original MES that says, great job, everyone. Quick save kill update, $2,026 for kill, $1,652 for save. Made some great progress, though, towards free in the nip, $745 out of $1,250.
If you got some more, it's just fine as well.
The main thing I'm gonna be plugging right now during this, okay, we're getting very, very close. Cutie, you're gonna have to let me know when you would like me to
Okay.
stop kill save, just so.
Yep. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like super duper last minute. I know you're under a timer at the end there, so you let me know, and I'll let you know what's in the lead when that happens.
Absolutely. Not a big deal. I'll give you a good amount of time. From now, it's probably about 5 or 6 minutes until it will be closed, though. So make sure you get your donations in for that, if you would like to see either way. And your donations for that can also, I believe, go to the Mario Odyssey incentive as well, if I'm not mistaken.
It absolutely can. There's room for both that and a selection between save kill.
Okay. So coming up here, we have Turian. So Metroids, they take damage from power bombs, actually, but it takes 3 power bombs to kill a Metroid. So we're not going to do that. We have to freeze them with the ice beam that we picked up earlier, and then hit them with a super missile. This is a little tricky because Mother Brain 1, the first phase of Mother Brain, only takes damage from ammo. So this section is pretty reliant on making sure that you manage your super count and your health correctly and get the kind of ammo you're looking for. Otherwise, you're going to end up losing a lot of time if you don't get the luck you need or other things. Oh, no. I think I missed one. I guess I didn't, okay. I thought for sure I missed one of them there, but okay. These guys are really slippery and they don't like to come together. But the idea is here we're going to try and group them so that we can kill them all with one super. Instead of having to use, like 3 supers here to kill them all, we're going to just use 1 to kill all of them. Slightly slower, but it's safer in terms of ammo and stuff. And I'm just... I don't think I got the Rinka boost. The idea is if you kill them with missiles, you can damage boost off that Rinka instead of that hopper, and you save 20 energy as well. But so this is the reason I picked up wave missiles earlier, is 20 and 10 is significantly more safe than 15 and 10, because 15 and 10 here is the minimum ammo that you need to go through quickly. If you miss 1 missile or 1 super on Mother Brain 1, you're soft lock and you basically have to just die. Your run's over. So this trick right here is called Baby Skip. This baby is going to come and try to drain your health, but if you can, kind of play jump rope with it here, you can manipulate it with your jumps and you just completely skip that entire cutscene of it grabbing you and draining all of your health. So one more Ghidorah here that we're going to super, and there's going to be another red door coming up that we're going to super. And then we're going to do a Zebetite skip. So these Zebetites you normally have to kill with ammo, but you can get past the first one. And the first one is the only one that loads. The next one doesn't load until you kill the previous one, because if you tried to load all of them at once... Okay, sorry. Those turrets can block your ammo, and I wanted to make sure that they didn't shoot and block my ammo, though. So if you if all the Zebatites were
Hey, Kitty, if you're there, keep focusing on your boss fight here, but we can't hear you right now if you're trying to talk. Yeah, Kitty's been going. Yes,
okay,
we
there
have
we go.
to.
I left to focus, and then I was like, okay. Yeah, so you can stop it now. This is when I wanted to stop it, so...
The safe kill?
Yep.
All right, at $2,026, Calithon 2020 wants you to kill those animals.
Okay. Yeah, so I did, because it was actually important that I was counting there. Because I want to count to 46, and that's when Mother Brain can do her red beam, which deals an entire E-tank of damage. And it's possible to get double hit by it, which would instantly end the run. So I wanted to make sure I knew when it was coming. And then she still faked me out and waited to do it. Hit me with the option select there. But so the idea is that that fight, you can't get below 301 energy. It's 60 charge shots, and she'll, layer bombs and things like that. And then what'll happen is once she's below 3/4 health, she'll go into like a red beam phase, and the red beam deals an entire E-tank of damage, but it's possible to actually get hit 2 times by it at once. Or not necessarily at once, but 2 times, it's possible to get double hit. You might even be able to get triple hit. Like, it's pretty absurd. And it's actually kind of scary that I did get hit by one there, because I was trying to figure out if I was out of Discord or not. But thankfully I didn't get double hit, and it's a good thing I got the extra E-tank. Because the fight was pretty much damageless up until then. But, even if that was a run, fight's damageless, last charge shot, I missed the dodge, my run's over right there. So it's a pretty tense section, and I should have mentioned it beforehand, but I kind of snuck up on me. So here we just have the Zeeb's escape. You're just trying to get through these rooms as quickly as possible. And here's the last moonfall of the run. This one's a good one, saves about 1.5 seconds actually. Oh, hello. So in here, you can just spark up the climb, which is really nice, saves you a lot of time. We're coming up on time here when I reach the ship. And time.
It looks like a 4350. GG.
Sounds about right. That's just fine. All the safeties I got and such, I'm okay with that. There was no complete disasters or meltdowns, so that's definitely a pretty solid run. 50-minute estimate was to let the credits play out for Gear Force, but I know we are running a bit behind, so up to you.
I'm gonna leave it up to the organizers. My vote is to leave those credits in there. They're some of the best credits throughout all of video games, in my opinion. I love the Metroid credits here. So when did you start speedrunning this, Katie?
So I picked it up with a friend of mine, actually. The Super Mario Bros. Winner, Cosmic, and I picked this game up together in about 2012-ish. After seeing it, well, Cosmic had been playing it for a bit, but I saw it on the Sunday Sequence Break. Nice throwback back in 2012. And I decided to play it for the first time, and I fell in love and started speedrunning it back then, up through about 2014. In late 2014, and then I kind of just, in terms of speedrunning in general, I didn't play at all until February 2018 when I came back to this game and fell in love again and have been playing ever since.
Yo, shoutouts to the Sunday Sequence Break. That's actually where I hosted for the first time, or co-hosted in that sense. Yep,
that's a very, very old, at this point, speedrunning podcast every Sunday, obviously, the Sunday Sequence Break. Shoutouts to those guys. Fiesel's off doing speed gaming now. Shouts to Flicky and PJ. And then this Garrison and MSDS on the Super Metroid episode, and that's where I first kind of learned about how cool the game was and decided to play it for the first time. And that's why I'm here today. So, pretty cool how that happened.
That's awesome how Sunday Sequence Break brought so many people together speedrunning. That's a reason why I went after various records. Is I started watching a few episodes and I'm like, hey, we could do that. And Oth and I were on for Lord of the Rings Return of the King.
Oh, that sounds fun for sure. Absolutely. Things like that can introduce people to new games, new experiences and stuff like that are just wonderful. It's really cool when you can do marathon runs like this, or even with the Sunday Sequence Break, you know, a really nice in-depth dive into this game. Any percent just happens too fast to really, for one person to really get everything in that they want to talk about. There's so much stuff that I just kind of glossed over. This game is so deep. Shoutouts to Gear Force of Team Shikamaru for creating a fantastic video game. Like I could, if I went back and was able to pause the VOD, rewind, talk about everything I wanted to, this would be a 3 or 4 hour event. There's just so much, but so I'm glad I was able to get to most of what I wanted to talk about while playing, because generally when I stream I don't actually use my microphone, so I'm not very used to talking while playing. So I'm glad it wasn't a complete disaster.
We were very happy to have you here, and that was one heck of a run again. Thank you so much for being here and doing this.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for putting this on. I appreciate it, and thanks for having me.
Please, everybody give ARealCutie a follow. Is it at twitch.tv/ARealCutie?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, awesome. Please be sure to give Cutie a follow. Then everybody, GG again, Cutie. ARealCutie with Super Metroid. Thank you so much. Coming up next, we have Super Mario Odyssey that's going to be done by Dangers, and